Lunatic Fringe. You're listening live to KDK and Lunatic Fringe. You're listening live. You're listening live to KDK Fringe. You're exclusively listening to KDK.com.
Get drunk with KDK every Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on PCU, Prank Call Underground Internet Radio.
I don't even know who he is.
The major record labels say that downloading their music from the internet is stealing. But according to these people, making a mixtape for your friend is stealing too. So is making a tape of a radio show. When a rock band plays an AC/DC cover at a bar that doesn't pay ASCAP, that's stealing. When an MC rhymes over a sampled beat, that's stealing. Have you ever sung Happy Birthday to your friend at a restaurant? Watch out, Happy Birthday is copyrighted. So if you're singing in a public place, you'd better be paying royalties, or you'll be stealing music. Does all this stuff about stealing music sound absurd? Would you rather have a world where our music culture wasn't the intellectual property of 5 corporations? Then stop giving them your money. Don't pay for major label music, and make sure your friends and family don't either. Even better, burn them CDs of the music they like, so they won't even want to buy it. If we pull the plug on the major labels, music gets better.
It doesn't.
She was here for the adults that it stopped.
My advice to you, start drinking heavily.
KDK is the master of improvising right. He's like KDK. When it comes to pranks, that's why KDK is a fucking internet legend.
You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to
KDK's Lunatic Fringe.
All systems go! Prepare for countdown! 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's off to adventure in the amazing year 400 billion!
I can't breathe. Stop.
What the hell is this? For crying out loud, somebody throw a pie!
Hello, everyone! Welcome to KDK's Lunatic Fringe. Right when I started the program, I realized it's probably been several years since I played the proper intro song to KDK's Lunatic Fringe. So there you go. It's a song called "I'm in Hell" from a band called KDK. No relation. But yeah, there you go. I felt it was time to play it again, and now I'll probably never play it again for another couple of years. But pardon me while I light a cigarette here. Yeah, as I was saying, I'm KDK. I'll be your host for the program for the next 2 hours or so. And first thing I need to say, just to get the word out, time change for the program. We're going back to starting at 10 p.m. Starting next Saturday, I'll be starting at 10 p.m. instead of 11 p.m. I originally had to move it to 11 p.m. because of my schedule at work, but now I have a different job. When's the last time you ever heard me say that I actually liked a job that I had? Well, I actually found a job that I like. I started this past Monday, and I like it. I like it a lot. The benefits are good. The pay is good. It's not too stressful. It's not one of those jobs where somebody's peering over my shoulder all the time. It's the kind of job where I can excel at because I'm left to my own devices to do my own thing. I'm managing a deli, and It's going well, and I like it. And the best thing about it is the hours are 7 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. Monday through Friday. So I have weekends off, so I'll be able to start the show earlier on Saturdays. So from now on, this will be the last night that you hear me come on at 10 p.m., or at 11 p.m., I mean. Starting next week, I'll be back on where I belong at 10 p.m., which will make it a lot better for when I have to do the UK wake-up calls. Because I notice when I get to UK wake-up calls, like even only an hour late, the Brits tend to be a little more pissy. I don't know. For some reason, it's worse for me to call at 6 than it is at 5. I don't know. Me, I wake up at 6 o'clock for work. What are these people doing sleeping so late? Lazy Brits. So if anybody has names, numbers, or ideas for people whom you would like me to call today, or tonight, by all means, contact me. I'm on the AIM as KDK Pranks, KDK, Pranks, on AIM. You can contact me that way. Failing that, you can join us in the chat room at kdkprankcalls.com, kdkprankcalls.com, the world's most popular, independently owned prank call website, with still no advertising. You're welcome. Click on the link for the chat room, join us in there, double click on me, KDK, the guy with the big M next to his name, and toss me your names, numbers, and ideas for people whom you would like me to call tonight. We'll see what we can do. I have some stuff coming in, so this is the part of the program where I have to stall and tell stories and stuff while you guys get your info into me. I don't blame you guys for not bothering to research numbers, because, let's face it, every once in a while I just don't show up for the show, or decide that I don't want to do prank calls. As a matter of fact, tonight I'm not in the mood to do prank calls, but I'm going to force myself to do it. Because I'm in a not a foul mood, but a piddly mood. Is that a good word for it? I don't feel good or bad. I just feel a general malaise, I guess. And I've learned from experience that a lot of times doing prank calls will cheer me up. Sometimes making myself laugh is the best medicine. And the fan is really loud in the background. I can hear it and it's distracting me. So let me reach over and I'm going to turn that off. And because I don't want to turn on the air conditioner because that's even louder. So I'm going to take off my headset for a second so that I can take off my shirt. KDK's gone topless tonight. Hang on a second. KDK Topless. There you go. Well, welcome to KDK Topless. Everyone see my nipple ring? Yes. Tabachi is mentioning that I'm sober. Yes, I am sober, but not for long. I'm going to pour myself a shot here. I have a 3-day weekend. One of the good things about my job is I got a paid holiday. I only started last Monday, and I already have a paid holiday coming this Monday. So there you go. I got a 3-day weekend. Labor Day, in my opinion, isn't a real holiday, but as long as they're willing to pay me for it and give me the day off, I'll consider it a holiday. Sure. So let me lean the microphone in so you can hear the splash. Tonight's program is brought to us by Effin' Vodka. Same vodka that I've been drinking for the past couple of weeks because I like it. Nudity, awesome. So, I spoke last week about Bill buying the condo next door. I said that he was closing on Wednesday, and he did. He signed the papers, he closed, and he's in the process of moving in right now. But like I said, he's like really OCD, so before he moves in, he's like having everything repainted and putting in new floors and spending a lot of money to like clean the place up. Because my place, when I moved in here, it was bought through a realtor and it had been on the market for like a month, so it was spotless clean when I moved in here. I didn't have to worry about that. But the place that Bill bought was a foreclosure. So the bank didn't bother hiring somebody to go in and clean up the place. So it wasn't like a shit sty, but it was, there were parts of it that were gross. So he doesn't want to move in there until it's like sanitized. So he's not living there yet, but he will be. He'll be probably moving in like Monday and Tuesday, and I'll be having to help him with that, unfortunately. Any of you have a friend like that? A friend that just constantly overextends their welcome, or they ask too much of you. Like, for example, in my life, I've moved 3 times. My entire life, I've only ever moved 3 times. And I never asked Bill to help me move. I just did it by myself. Because I don't want to impose on somebody that much. But sure enough, he's asking me to, like, help him carry shit and move shit using my station wagon. That's right, I drive a station wagon now. A nice one, but still a station wagon. And, drive shit over here. And I wish he wouldn't ask. I even said that to him last night. I even said, like, you know, this is a pretty big imposition. I hope you realize that, you know. Because I could be home, like, playing video games. Instead, I gotta be sweating like a pig and helping you move shit because he lives on the 2nd floor and the staircase to get there is, like, really narrow and steep. And I can just imagine myself, like, falling down the stairs with, like, a piece of furniture landing on top of me. But, there you go, I'll do it anyway. So, who knows, maybe next week, Bill will be a guest on the program. I doubt it, but I wish I had a thermometer to tell how hot it is, because I turned off the fan, and I think I'm going to have to turn it back on, but I'll turn it on really low. Because it's just too fucking hot. It's September, for Christ's sakes. It's supposed to be the beginning of the fall. It's not supposed to still be 90 degrees outside. Anybody still doubt the fact of global warming? Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to have to grab myself more soda so that I can do my shot here. I poured the shot, but I don't have any soda to use as a chaser, so I'm going to go grab some soda. In the meantime, I'm going to play a brief song from tonight's featured artist, the Ramones. It's only a 2-minute song, because that's how fast I am. I can run to the kitchen, pour myself a soda, and probably be back here in a minute. But I'll give myself 2 just to be safe. California Sun by the Ramones. I'll be back very shortly. Very shortly. Out there having fun in the warm California sun. Okay, and I'm back. I was back a little early, see? See how fast I can be? So I got my soda, and I already had my shot poured before, as you heard on the microphone. I just needed to go grab myself a chaser, and I waited till I opened the mic back up again so that everybody who's out there drinking, can do a shot with me. Let's get drunk together tonight. That's one of the things when I go back and listen to the show, as embarrassing as it is to hear myself drunk and stuff like that. I think one of the most entertaining and interesting things about the program is when I start the program sober, and then I start doing shots, and then by the 3rd hour, it reminds me of like when Bobby Heenan used to do commentating for the WWE, and he used to drink off camera. And at the beginning of the pay-per-view, he would be fine, and then towards the end, he'd be saying, like, really offensive things and slurring his words and sweating a lot and, like, talking really fast. Yeah, that's what it's like. I remember I forget which one it was, but there was a pay-per-view once, and Bill had stopped by while I was watching the pay-per-view, and he hates wrestling, so I'm like, you gotta watch this. Bobby Heenan has been getting drunk since the beginning of the pay-per-view. We're in the 3rd hour of the pay-per-view now. And then not like a minute later, they go to like a video package, and they come back, and Bobby Heenan has a bottle in his hand, and he's pouring himself a drink. And the camera came back too fast, and he fumbles with the bottle, and he drops it, and he spills it all over his hands, and then he wipes his hands together, and he says, "Look at me, look at the excitement here, even my palms are sweating." I thought it was the most hysterical fucking thing. And Bill was like, "I can't believe that just happened. You just said it, and there it just was. He really was drinking off camera." If anybody could find a clip of that, I'd love to be able to watch that again. Bobby Heenan is still alive, but I think he went through like, he had like throat cancer or something like that. Horrible thing for an announcer to get throat cancer, right? Yeah. MST3 Clay says that he had like tongue or throat cancer, something like that. So anyway, the other day I told you how I'm working at the deli. This guy comes in. He's like really short and fat and bald, And he looks like he's, if I had to guess, I would say he's about like 50. And he looks at me and he says, "Dave?" And I said, "Yes, how do I know you?" He says, "We used to work together maybe like 15 years ago." And I said, "Where?" And he tells me where. And I said, "What's your name?" And I said, "I don't remember." And then I said, "What department did you work in?" He said, "The deli. I worked with you." And I'm like, oh shit. Then like it hit me, like I realized who this person was, and it was the saddest thing. And I don't know how I wasn't able to say, "Oh my God, what happened to you?" Because when I worked with this kid only 15 years before, he's about 5 years younger than me. And I used to be jealous of him when we worked together because he was really cute and thin and attractive, and all the girls would come over and flirt with him. And I was always jealous of him back then. So it's sort of like vindicating that I never in a million years would have recognized the way he looks now. It's amazing what 15 years can do to a person if they don't take care of themselves. I don't know what the hell he did, or he just had like really bad genes, because now he's like fat and completely bald, and he looks at least 10 years older than me, but he's 5 years younger. It's sad. Maybe that's God's cruel little joke. Like when I was young, I was ugly, except everybody that I grew up with, they keep getting older, they keep looking older, they're going bald, they're getting fat, and I just stay the same. Everybody always recognizes me because I look the fucking same. I may have a little more gray hair than I did back then, but I'm not thinning, I'm not going bald. As a matter of fact, sometimes I think I have too much hair, but I'm not going to complain. On hot days where my hair is like wet with sweat, then I'm like, oh, why do I have so much hair? But I'm not complaining, I'm happy. So anyway, let me see what people are saying. Let me first start with the chat room. Jill is sending me a number for Katie. Can you please call and ask Katie if Charlie has been castrated? If you would, fill me in on some information of who Katie and Charlie are and what the relationship to each other and you is. And don't be afraid. I'm not going to reveal who you are or who put me up to calling. Don't be afraid. I don't do that. Well, I have done that, but only when people were douchebags. But Jill's not a douchebag. Tabachi is sending me verified numbers for Brenda Nipple. Her husband answers the phone and usually gets pretty aggressive. We were teasing him for his last name earlier. Okay, so you've already been prank calling him tonight? So he's already wound up and angry? That might be a good way to start. D. Lips has a son named Evan, and if you speak in a male voice, she thinks you're him. How old is Evan? Is he black or is he white? Let me know what I'm going for. Next, we have Gurpreet Nigger. Mrs. Nigger does not take kindly to her own last name. She cursed me out. So, she wants you to call her Niger? That's what they always do. It's not, even though it's spelled nigger, let's pronounce it Niger. I'll call her Mrs. Naga. Numbers to 2 events organized at the PAX conference. PAX is a community conference for gamers. No ideas here, so don't feel obligated to prank. And he gives me a couple numbers for people who are at PAX. Harry Dick. Another Harry Dick, his wife answered. Another Harry Dick, another wife answering. Another Harry Dick, an old man answered. An old man named Harry Dick. Well, if it is an old Harry Dick. Tabachi. Oh, I already did Tabachi. And I did Jill already. Okay, so now let me go to the AIM. They were black. If I ask you to give me some quantifying information, please do it in the PM so it stays there and I can see it when I come to it, because I don't pay attention to everything that happens in the chat room. The chat room is for you guys to have fun with each other. And after the show and before the show, have fun with me. Lonesome Loser sends me the number for Mildred, an old woman living in Allentown, PA. Mildred, Harold, Becky, and Edward, 4 people living in South Carolina. A redneck woman answered. Francine and Eldon An old woman answered. In Jamaica, New York, Francine and Earl from Dayton, Texas, an old woman answered. And Geraldine Fana, an old woman answered. From North Carolina, Geraldine, an angry old woman answered. Harriet, Earl, and Larry, an old woman answered. Harriet Ham, an old woman. Marion Russell and Richard, an old woman. Milton and Helen, an old guy. Milton and Ellen, an old woman. See, now I'm going to get gassy because my chaser tonight is Diet Coke, which is going to make me gassy. Pardon me while I take a drag from my cigarette before it goes out. Marion is living in Montana. Moving to Montana soon. I'm gonna be a dental floss tycoon. And Georgia, Roy, and Michael Wanker, an old woman answered. Glenda and John Wanker, an old woman answered. And Horace and Linaris Falk, an old woman answered. So we have plenty of numbers to do an entire show tonight, probably. I have no idea if there's any kind of topical premises that I can use. Any of you guys have any ideas? I was asking this kid that I work with earlier tonight. That's right, I have 2 jobs now. I'm like a Jamaican. I have a job that's Monday through Friday. That's the deli job. And then Friday and Saturday, I have the pizza job still. I kept that because the hours don't conflict, and fuck it. I'd rather be working and making money than sitting on my lazy ass playing video games, right? It's amazing what a turnaround I've made to like doing nothing but sitting around and playing video games to like totally wanting to get out of the house and just do anything else. Bill always says, you know, I'm jealous of your life that you sit around and watch movies and play video games all day. And I'm like, yeah, you'd be bored after a while, I guarantee you that. Anyway, here's a request song, and then I'm going to come back very shortly, and open up the lines and do some prank calls. This is another song from the Ramones, requested by, I think, who was it? It was either Dark Stranger or Tabachi, someone like that. I Wanna Be Sedated. I was just trying to load up the first number that I'm supposed to call tonight. Tabachi, you sent me info about Brenda Nipple, but forgot to give me the number. Same thing for D Lips. Are you drunk already? You're not supposed to start drinking until we start the show. That's what the commercial says. Get drunk with KDK. Get drunk along with me, not before me.
Hurry, before I go the door. I can't get to my fingers. I can't get to my toes. Oh no. Oh, oh, oh. Bam, 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 bam. I wanna be sedated. Bam, 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 bam. I wanna be sedated. Bam, 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 bam. I wanna be sedated. Bam, 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 bam. I wanna be sedated.
And I'm back, and I was going to start with numbers coming in from the chat room. Joe's number is a UK number, so I'll save that to when I go to UK calls later. Tabachi forgot to give me the phone number for Brenda Nipple and D Lips. But he did give me the info for Gurpreet and Nigger, so let's call her up. Why not? I don't know what's going to happen. You guys haven't shared with me any premises. If you have any premises, double click on me in the chat room and by all means share them. Dare me to do something stupid. Dare to be stupid. Hello, is this Gurpreet?
Hello?
Hello, I was trying to get hold of Gurpreet.
Yes.
Is this Gurpreet? I'm sorry, I don't know if a name like that is masculine or feminine. I was assuming it was a feminine name, but perhaps I'm wrong. I've never heard that name before. Hello? Hello? I don't want to say your last name because to me, the way it's written looks like an offensive term, and I don't want you to think I'm putting you down or nothing. Can I ask you how you pronounce your last name, just so I don't say it wrong?
Okay. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
I was trying to talk to Gurpreet. How many people do I need to speak to before I get to Gurpreet?
No one, that's me.
You're Gurpreet?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I was wrong. I was assuming that was a feminine name, but who would know with a name like Gurpreet?
Yeah, so what?
Well, Gurpreet, I was calling to ask if you're satisfied with your insurance coverage.
Yeah, I am.
Well, okay, I guess our business is done here. What about your phones? It sounds like you have problems with the phones. I can hook you up with a better phone deal there.
Yeah.
Are you doing that on purpose because you think it actually works or does anything? Wonderful! What did you call my mother? Don't you dare say such things to me. I'm trying to offer you goods and services.
Okay.
Your phones are really bad.
I know.
ਪਵਨ ਤੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਰੱਖ ਦੇ ਫੋਨ ਤੋਂ kasi ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਫੋਨ ਕਰਨ ਲੱਗੇ ਆ
ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸੁਣਦਾ ਹੀ ਆ
Please talk me please, okay? You call.
How dare I call?
I love you.
Well, get the whole family in on it. Everyone talk gibberish.
Why you are bothering me? Me, please, is call.
Why am I bothering me, please, this call?
Yeah.
I have some very important news to tell you involving life insurance.
Jyoti, band kar de tu idhro.
You ever worry about how your family is going to be taken care of after you're gone should some horrible accident happen?
Oh, band kar idhro.
Like maybe you travel to the Middle East and you accidentally show your chin and they stone you to death with rocks.
Jyoti, rakh de phone idhro. Jyot.
Exactly. See, that's what I always say.
Hello?
Hello? You people sound like you've been drinking tonight because it's a 3-day weekend.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you don't sound like the executive type, so you probably got to work on Monday.
Why do you call me?
I told you already. I have some important news to tell you involving life insurance. What?
I have insurance for you too.
No, involving life insurance.
I have insurance to kill you.
Oh, now you're leveling death threats at me. I'm going to have to call the police and alert my supervisor. Mr. Rosenthal! Mr. Rosenthal, come here, please. Hello? Hello? He's not talking now, but he was just threatening me with bodily harm. I think we need to call the police. Hello? Hello? Max, did you get his name? Well, it says right here on the screen, it says, Gurpreet. I don't want to say the last name because it's a derogatory term. Mr. Nigger? And they hung up on me. See, the problem there was that you've already been messing with them for a little while, so they sound like they're already having fun with it. And Jill says, call her a fat cow. He said, eow, weow, meow. She says, a bombadilla deo, whatever. A weem away, a weem away, a weem away, a weem away. Okay, who am I going to call next? That was a very strange call. Let me see what else we have here. Tabachi is getting back to me with the number for Brenda Nipple. So let me copy that. And then scroll back up to see the info about Brenda Nipple. Her husband answers the phone and usually gets pretty aggressive. We were teasing him for his last name. So he's already been prank called earlier. Where were you prank calling him? Like what show? Or just like in your own spare time, like for shits and giggles? Okay, maybe they don't want to play no more.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 6.
Okay, let's stop that before we give out somebody's number over the air. We may have fun fucking with people, but I try to shy away from giving out people's phone numbers over the air. Instead, let's try D-Lips, the next person on the list. Oh, you were pranking them last night. Was that with Zolar? Does Zolar still do a show? Somebody fill me in. I'm so out of the loop, I don't even know. What prank callers are still around now? I think Blackout is gone. As far as I know, Zolar is gone. I think Carlito is on a hiatus. And other than that, I don't know. I don't know shit. I'm out of the loop.
No.
Hello, how are you doing, dear?
I'm fine. How are you, dear?
This is Evan. Can you come give me a ride?
Where are you?
I'm down here at the bar.
And you want me to come give you a ride?
Yeah. I used my fake ID, and I got in tonight, and I drank too much, and the people I'm with here are too drunk to give me a ride home, so I'm stuck here.
What's your name?
Evan? Is something wrong with you? You don't recognize my voice?
You have the wrong number.
I was acting silly trying to do a funny voice because I've been drinking a lot. At first. But now you recognize my real voice.
No, I don't.
You can't leave me here. I got no way to get home. I don't have money for a taxi. I spent it all on beer.
Where do you live?
With you.
You live with me?
Oh my God, there's something wrong with your brain.
Can I ask you a question?
Mom!
What?
Have you been drinking?
Yeah, very much so. My son doesn't drink. But can I ask you a question?
Well, I know I normally don't, but I have tonight.
And you think I'm your mother?
You're D.
What does D stand for?
Dolores.
I'm not your mother, sweetheart.
No, it's Denise. I was just kidding with you.
My name is not Denise.
Dolores?
I'm going to do you a favor, okay? I'm going to ask you, you're calling a Christian home, okay? And I wouldn't advise you to keep calling this house like this, because God is not in favor of it, okay?
I never called you before.
Okay, well, I'm telling you now, you have
You're right, it's not Evan. I'm here hanging out with Evan, and he is so drunk that he couldn't even dial the phone.
Oh, you're with Evan.
Right.
And you're telling me Evan is drunk?
Yeah.
Evan is too young to drink, so how can Evan
I know,
be drunk?
he has a fake ID.
Oh, well, how old is Evan?
Same age as me.
How old are you?
16.
And Evan is 16 too?
Oh, I never asked him. He might be a couple years younger or older. I'm not really. I never really asked.
You just call people. You're very bored, aren't you? Just be honest, aren't you?
No, not at all.
What city are you in? I can come get you.
For real?
Yeah, where you guys at?
New Fairfield, Connecticut. So how soon can you get here?
In about 5 minutes. Bye.
Have a good night, Mr. Lips. She was funny. That was one of those cases where I needed more info to be able to make the call work. You said I could do any voice, and she would think I was her son. I don't know. I remember when I first started doing the show, people were amazed. When I first started doing the show, I was like 32, 31, and people would say, I can't believe you're 31, you sound like you're 18. Nowadays, I think I sound more my age. Actually, no, I don't think I sound... My real age is 41, but I don't think I sound... Well, I don't know. There's not a whole lot of difference between 31 and 41. My voice probably won't start to change until I get to, like, my late 50s, and then I'll start to sound like Ed Rosenthal for real. I won't even have to put on a voice anymore. I'll just sound like that naturally. Anyway, I'm going to do another shot right here, right now, before I go on a break. I just poured myself some more soda. Tonight's program is brought to us by Diet Coke and Effin Vodka, E-F-F-E-N, Vodka. So, everybody, if you're drinking along with me, 543, anybody ever build a drinking game around the show? Is there any phrase that I say, like, so often that you should take a shot, like, every time I say it? Maybe when I say very shortly, that's when you drink. That'll be the KDK drinking game. Every time I say very shortly, you gotta take a shot. So now you gotta do 2 right there. I'm gonna do 1 right now. There you go. Effin' vodka. Pretty effin' smooth. Anyway, I'm going to play a song here from the Ramones, tonight's featured artist. This is a song called It's Gonna Be Alright. Uh-huh.
To a man's far and near, your life's gonna be okay. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be, and you're the only one to understand.
Okay, Tabachi, when I come back, I'm going to move on to the list of hairy dicks. Here's D-Lips last night. Tabachi, send me a link to D-Lips from last night. What is this? This is her Facebook page? It always seems weird to me, like when old people have, like, Facebook pages. Oh no, it's a Facebook page dedicated to D-Lips.
Oh, well, fuck.
Hello? Hello?
Hello there. Hello, D-Lips, is this you? Dear, are you there?
Yes, it's she.
Oh my god, how have you been, honey? I've been so worried about you. I haven't heard from you in weeks. Are you okay?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm doing alright. I haven't seen you. Like, where have you been? Well, I mean, like, have you not been coming around as much? No one's seen you at church or at the Cthulhuism thingy or nothing, anything at all. I've been really scared of. I've been worried.
Cthulhu.
Oh my god. It's Triquel. You know, I'm the gay guy that's finding Christianity and changing his ways, you know. I'm trying to get corrected.
It's actually pronounced Cthulhu. And it's funny that came up because right before I went on the air today, I was watching a movie, actually, called Grabbers. It's a new movie that was recently released, I think, in Ireland. Let me tell you the premise of the story, and once I do, you're totally going to want to see it. It's a monster movie where, like, a little island off the coast of Ireland is being attacked by these little octopoid, little tentacled creatures. Well, not little. Some of them are gigantic. Some of them look like small, like sea cucumbers. Like the babies look like small sea cucumbers. But the big ones look like gigantic, massive tentacles with a big mouth, like something straight out of H.P. Lovecraft. And it turns out that they're blood-sucking creatures. And the only thing that will keep them from trying to eat you is if you're drunk, because they're allergic to the alcohol that's in your bloodstream. So the only way to be safe from like being attacked by these creatures is to like be drunk. So they gather everybody in the town at the pub, and everybody gets drunk, and it's the funniest thing, because everybody's drunk, so nobody can be a hero, and all the actors are really good at playing drunk, and they're trying to fight these things like while they're all like sloppy, pissy drunk. It's the funniest, stupidest like monster movie I've seen in so long, and I didn't even get to see the end before I had to come on the air here. I have like 20 minutes left of the movie, but that's what I'm going to do as soon as I get off the air here, is watch the end of the movie Grabbers. Go to your favorite torrent site. I'm sure you can find a copy of it. Download Grabbers. You'll enjoy it. It's a horror creature comedy with actually really good CGI. Like, the creatures are CGI, but they're done pretty damn good for like a film from Ireland. You know, you wouldn't think that like such a small economy could produce a film with special effects that good, but they did. So check it out.
I'm the guy that used to be gay, but they're trying to help me correct myself, and they're trying to help me find Christ. So, you know, that's how you know me, remember?
Yes, I do, Evan.
Yeah, honey, like, is it okay if I come by on Sunday? I don't have anything to eat, and, well, I have food, but I don't want it. It's icky food. It's like barbecue and stuff, and I don't like that. Can I come by for food tomorrow, or Sunday?
Sure, what would you like to eat?
What do you have?
Pussy.
Oh, what's your address? I'll come by and get a big helping. You sound like a fat boy. I like that.
Pussy and dick, Evan.
I like dick. I said I'm a fag, so is that okay?
You so stupid.
That's stupid. I'm gay and I'm...
No, I don't want to talk about this. Evan, where are you?
Pardon?
Come on,
I'm down the street. I'm down the street, honey. Can you come down and meet me? I'm in the car. Like, I'm in the car. I've been waving at you for like the past 5 minutes.
So, see, if you had told me that her son Evan sounds gay, then I would have done a gay voice. Even though I am gay, I don't think I have a typical gay voice. I don't think I sound gay at all. I've often thought that people who have a gay affectation to their voice, I think it's often like really put on. Like, it's a fake voice that gay people do just to like subconsciously let other gay guys know that they're gay and that they're approachable and they're looking to get down and dirty. I can hear my neighbors talking outside. Well, this clip, since I paused it, is like taking too long to reload, so it wasn't that good anyway, so back to the song.
It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be, and you're the only ones who understand. Got good feelings about this year. All is very well, CJ is here. 92 spells more fun. Let's get into the year. It's the year of the month. You're gonna be real funky. Buy yourself a beer. It's gonna be okay.
Okay. Let me try this call again. Skip
Buy and
way
get a
ahead.
big helping. Yeah, I can. I try. Hey, listen to this. I listen to this. I got this one down. I can do a Russian accent now. It's cool. You like my Russian accent? You impressed? Hey, hon, what's new address? I want to come by for dinner on Sunday.
Ask Evan for it. Evan, I have a very important question from Angelina. Guess what happened? You'll never believe it. I ran to God, you'll never believe it. Guess what?
What?
You were talking Thursday. What?
Huh? I didn't hear you.
Oh, and I got some serious for you, Angela. You keep playing the phone, did you hang up?
Okay. Do you happen to have any crack there? Or, any crack rocks? Any crack rocks?
Crack rack?
Yeah, do you have any?
Yeah, some crack.
Alright, can I have some?
Yes, one of them.
Alright, you mean to pay? You mean to pay, or can I get this on the house?
Oh, yeah, you got a pipe?
Yeah, I can bring the pipe, you just bring the crack, and it'll be okay.
You so, Evan, you should talk like this. Cause this is God's home, and I'm having worse crack attacks. That's how we are.
Did you say, honey, what's the address so I can come on by? I'll bring my crack, I'll bring my weed, you bring your crack, I'll bring the pipe.
You know what, I'm just gonna hang up on this call. Then I'm going to start cussing. And I asked you to stop it so we can have a conversation.
I didn't cuss, honey. I said honey, I didn't cuss.
You know what? Fuck you, motherfucker.
If
you like that?
For it. Would you like to?
Now, this woman supposedly thinks that this person is her son, and she's saying, fuck you, motherfucker.
Is that what you wanted to hear?
Would you like to do it?
Fuck you, me fucker.
You having a good time, man. You having a good time.
No, you can't spend the night out. I'm telling you now.
Hey, can I come over? I need somewhere to stay tonight.
You need to hurry up and come home. And what time are you coming home?
I need to put it. I need the address so I can put it in the GPS so I can get the ride home. I don't know like the actual address. I just know how to get there.
Evan, stop!
I'll put it in the GPS. I'm riding home with someone.
I gotta go. This don't make any sense. I told you to stop it. I need to talk to you. It's very emergency.
It's emergency.
It's very emergency. Okay. I'm not terribly amused by the call, but I'm amused by D. So I'm going to pour myself another shot and dedicate it to D. Everybody else out there, pour yourself a shot and get ready to drink. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, drink. I'm still sober enough to keep track. That was shot number 3. 3 shots in an hour. That's hardly bad at all. I need to step up the pace.
Yeah, baby, please listen. Just listen.
Okay.
Okay, I want to hang up.
No, it'll be okay. Just don't hang up. Please don't hang up on me.
Okay, will you quit acting like a damn fool?
Okay, I'll stop playing around on the damn phone. I apologize. I really am sorry.
Okay, what time are you coming home?
Like, is tomorrow okay?
Nope, it's not. And I saw your little funky ass gray backpack. Me and Shawnee are scared. And we have a reason to be right now.
No, you don't, because I'm going to be there. Don't worry about me. I'm like a bird taking flight. I'm alright. Don't worry. What about in the next, 4 hours? Is that okay?
No! I need you home now.
Oh.
This reminds me of the old Kevin's Mama calls, where Kevin used to call and fuck with his mom and say, she would say, I want you home in an hour, and he's like, give me 5 hours. And she would scream.
I can't get there right. I kept telling you, I need you to give this guy the address so he can put it in the GPS and drive me there. But
you know what? Fuck you and that raggedy motherfucker, okay? Is that what you guys want to hear me backslide? Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Is that what you want, Evan?
If you're gonna be so aggressive, I can stop talking to you. I'm trying to get your help to get there so we can all be happy. But if you're gonna be mean to me and assume that I'm always lying to you, then this is gonna go nowhere. I'm trying to be honest with you and get your help, and you're not even helping me.
Evan, come home, please.
Okay, listen to me.
I'm down on your clothes. I fold them. I iron them. I'm tired.
Okay. Listen, simmer down, Hunbun. It's okay. Listen to me. The only reason I'm not there is because we can't have a conversation like two people. It's because you're aggressive and you make assumptions. You do horrible reasoning and you assume that everything's the way you think it's going to be, but it's not.
What time are you coming home?
Is 3 hours okay? That's the fastest I can. I'm pretty far away.
Baby, no, baby, stop. Where are you?
I kept telling you, if you give the guy the address, he can put it in the GPS and drive me.
You raggedy ass motherfucker, you know the address.
I don't.
You don't know where you live.
Listen to me, I've been doing a lot of...
Can you ask my dead mother where you live, okay? I'm getting pissed off. I don't appreciate this call. I'm having a hard time, and I need to talk to you about something, and you want to play games. Now, I told you 5 times, I'm having a difficult time here, okay? I can't deal with this. Okay, stop stressing me the hell out.
Okay, listen to me, okay? I've been doing a lot of meth, and I can't remember what the address is. That's why I asked you to give it to him. I did a lot of meth tonight. Do you know what that does to your head?
You know what? You take your one arm, and you take the other one and shove it up your ass, okay? That's what you do, Evan. That's what you do. If you can't call your mother like you have some sense, then just forget it, okay? Everything I've done for you, just forget it. I'm having a hard relapse time, and I asked you to stop playing on the phone.
A hard relapse time? So instead of talking about alcohol when I did the call, I should have talked about drugs. She's having a hard relapse time. What does that mean? Like she's jonesing for that sweet, sweet crack?
And you won't.
Calm down. It's okay.
Are you going to act like Evan or not?
Listen to me, okay? Fuck you.
You call my dead mama, you know that? That's who because she knows what's going on. I'm right now.
The feeling is mutual, my dear. The feeling is quite mutual.
What?
Goodbye. I'm done with you. Screw you. Fuck you guys, I'm going home.
What?
Fuck you guys, I'm going home.
Fuck you guys.
Hello?
Okay, people were asking in the chat room who was doing that call. It was posted by Tabachi, so I'm assuming that it was his call to post, because it would be kind of shitty to be posting somebody else's calls without giving them credit, right? So that was a call from Tabachi, so yay. It's gonna be okay, yeah. It's gonna be, and you're the only ones who understand. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be, and you're the only ones who understand. God, I love the Ramones. Before I go on, I'm going to do shot number 4. So guys, prepare yourself. I'm going to do shot number 4 dedicated to the dead Ramones, and Joey and Dee Dee, founding members of the Ramones. Dee Dee wrote a lot of the original Ramones songs, which isn't really saying much, because the early Ramones songs are pretty, let's face it, they're pretty darn stupid. Sheena is a punk rocker, Sheena is a punk rocker, Sheena is a punk rocker now. Brilliant lyrics, huh? Okay, anyway, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, drink. And now, let's call up a hairy dick. Yeah, Tabachi, I like the voice during that call. If that wasn't your real voice, that was a decent, passable... Hello? 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 Hello, Harry? Hello? Harry? Harry, don't be silly. I can hear you there in the background, shuffling with the phone. Okay, that hairy dick doesn't want to talk, so let me move on to the next hairy dick. His wife answered. Mrs. Hairy Dick. I guess he would call her Hairy Pussy. What do you guys out there like? You like a hairy pussy? Personally, I like clean-shaven pussy, where there's just a little bit of like a day's growth of stubble that you can rub on your face, and it makes it like feeling like when you rub your one day's stubble on the. Never mind, I'm getting too dirty. Again, listeners don't like to hear me talk like that.
Say hello.
Hello, is Harry there?
Hello?
Hello, Harry!
Yeah.
How are you doing, you old Winklevoss?
Doing pretty good. Who's this?
My name is Max Velocity.
I heard that the other day on television.
The other day I was on television?
Yeah, I heard that name. Yeah,
Winklevoss. Oh, you probably mean my sons. You
Oh,
know,
it sounded like a younger gal, right? What can I help you with, sir?
is this Harry?
Uh-huh.
Wonderful. How you doing, love?
I'm doing unusually good.
You're not doing too good?
No, I'm doing unusually good.
Unusually good. Well, that's very good.
That's better than just good.
So the syphilis is clearing up.
Yeah. That happened last week.
Oh, well, that's very good to hear, because you had me worried there for a little bit.
Oh, don't worry.
Oh, well, I'm not really worried. I don't really care that much for fellow human beings, because I'm a very selfish person, you know.
Yeah.
I just pretend to be interested.
Oh, okay.
So
I can't remember that name. But I seem like I remember that name, but it wasn't spelled. Maybe it was spelled backwards. I don't know.
What is Winklevoss spelled backwards?
Walker Winch.
something like that. Fuckle shit, something like that.
This has been recorded. Keep on talking. I've got the recording of it.
Okay, well, what would you like to say, dear?
No, we got you. Well, you just.
Who am I speaking to, love?
No, never mind. Don't worry about that. I get a lot of calls at night, late nights, but sometimes 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. It's okay. Now we got your number anyway.
Harry, you're acting very weird.
Well, I wish I could help you, but I can't help you.
Well, you don't even know why I'm calling yet.
Oh, yeah. We'll keep on talking. I forgot about that.
Well, I got all night. I'm retired, so I have all night if you want to talk. If you want to reminisce about our days.
Yeah, I'm not
together
retired.
back in the 70s.
Yeah, 70s.
You remember back in the war when we used to go visit the whores in town? We used to get shore leave.
In Vietnam. Well, why didn't you tell me to start with you?
I have enough to turn into the police now for harassment.
Who is this whore that keeps butting in our conversation? Harry, I need you to give her a good rap in the teeth and let her know her place.
Yeah, she'll hang up now because she got your number.
Well, good. So you and I can talk.
We have 2 phones, yeah.
This is men talking together. There's no women need to be involved.
Are you a man?
We already know women are the inferior species.
I must have misconnected your voice. I didn't know you was a man. I thought this was a girl I was talking to.
You thought this was a girl?
But it is a man. It sounds like a man.
Well, guess
now.
what? I thought you were a transvestite.
I saw one of those last Wednesday.
I remember when you wore that Carmen Miranda wig with the bananas and the oranges in. That was wonderful. Beautiful. Negroes.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah, well, as I am then.
But that's neither here nor there.
Carmen Miranda.
Stop being silly. Both of you, stop being silly. I'm trying to talk to you, and you're acting like you're crazy.
I remember Carmen Miranda quite well.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
She was big back in our day.
That's right.
On the burlesque circuit back in the 50s.
Early 40s, actually.
And the early 50s, but by then she was already kind of tore up and broke down.
Oh, yeah.
But she still tried, God bless her.
Poor thing. Poor thing. Poor Carmen. But she was pretty good. She was a fairly good singer.
Not really. People only
not
liked to look
my
at her because she was
shadow.
willing to show her flop tits back then.
What she could do is...
That was well before they had, like, breast implants and stuff like that, so women her
Oh, yeah.
age, had boobs that hung down to her belly button. But we didn't have Playboy, and we didn't know what women were supposed to look like back then. So
That's right.
we thought that was attractive. Well,
It
Playboy was
attractive.
around back then, but again,
It was
everything
fine,
was all like droopy tits and big salami nipples and C-section
I didn't find anything wrong
scars.
with them.
What?
I didn't find anything wrong with them nipples.
Well, no, we
Without
never
nipples.
did because we didn't know any better.
That's right.
That's all we had. And nowadays, for $50, you can hire the hottest stripper in the world to throw you a good lay.
That's good. Yeah.
So how you been doing? Let's reminisce.
Mostly just fine, except for my hair and my face and my.
Well, that's father time. Father time can be a cruel mother. Can't he?
Father time has been kind of rough.
Father time has been kind of cool to me.
I still walk though. I can walk and everything.
Well, that's good. As long as you're mobile, that's a good thing.
Yeah. I can't walk very fast, but I can still walk.
You use a cane or a walker or a wheeler?
Oh, no, nothing like that.
You can still stand upright.
Right.
Well, that's good.
Straight up and walk.
I can still hear the open air. I can still hear your old lady listening.
I don't think so.
Tell her to hang up.
I think she did.
Give her a good rap in the mouth and tell her men are talking.
After I get a hair right, pow. She feels better now. Poor thing.
Oh, dear.
She crawled off over there in the corner.
Well, good. Women need to learn to respect when men want to talk. Mind their own business, know their role, and get to the kitchen. I wouldn't say barefoot and pregnant because I know she's decades away from from being able to menstruate.
Oh, yeah. All the kids were all born back in the 50s.
Well, mine too. How many you got?
I don't have any anymore. They're all gone. I had 3 and they're all gone.
What do you mean they're all gone?
Well, the 2 boys died in an a car wreck in 91, and the other boy had a heart attack about 7 years ago. All boys.
Oh, my God.
They're gone. They're gone.
I have 3 children and 9 grandchildren.
Well, we have a lot of grandchildren, but...
It's like a rabbit farm. They breed like crazy.
Yeah.
So how many grandkids you got?
Let's see, 4, 5. 5 is all we have.
That's wonderful. I'm so happy to hear that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. 5 is all we have.
I'm going to ask you a question. A question.
Oh, it's more than that. It's 1, 2, 3.
What are their names? And name all your grandkids.
Well, let's see, there's Amber, and there's Crystal, and there's Corey. That's the 3 grandkids, and then the great-grandkids are Kaylee and Zane, and I don't know what the new baby's... the new baby's name was... what was his name? Eric.
And which one is your favorite?
The favorite? I don't think I do have a favorite. Because I was with them all but one today. One of my grandsons lives in Arizona, and he just married about 2 years ago, and they have a new baby. That's Eric.
My favorite great-grandson, his name is Max.
Big old Max.
He's young, of course, but he's already built like a brick shithouse. He's cut up like a UFC fighter.
That's good.
He's gonna be a lady killer once he gets to be of age. He's gonna be a lady killer.
Maybe he could take care of you when you get too old.
I'll be dead by then. I'm already 87 years young.
Oh my goodness, I'm not quite 82 yet. I'll be 82 in a while.
Right, so I'll be dead by the time I get to see him become a strong, strapping young man. I just hope he doesn't turn out to be a faggot.
You'll probably live to be 100. You'll probably live to be 100 at least.
Well, I do take care of myself, and I'm 87, and people say to me, "You don't look a day over 70."
Well, they don't say that to me anymore. Because I look 80.
You kind of let yourself go, huh?
No. I just think, well, I probably don't look 80. But I probably look, I doubt if I look 70.
You know what the key is? I swim every day.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Swimming is the best exercise because there's no jarring of the muscles, but you get to exercise.
Yeah.
And it's probably the best full body workout you can get, just the swimming.
That sounds, very good. I don't have a swimming pool, but I can get in the bathtub, I guess.
I just go jump in the lake. I don't care.
Jump in the lake.
You know, at my age, a turtle bites my penis off. What good is it for anyway? Who
What
cares?
good? It ain't doing much good anyway.
Right, exactly. It hasn't worked in 10 years, so who cares? I jump in the lake naked and I swim around and I get my exercise. I come out, towel off, go back indoors and take a nap, and it's fun to be retired.
Well, I would think so if you're fully retired. I can't be fully retired because I never made enough money to get.
You mean you're still working?
Oh yeah, sure.
What are you doing?
Well, you should know.
I'm old, so I forget.
Oh, well, I take pictures.
You're a photographer.
Yeah, I've never done anything in my life for money but take pictures.
Well, that's an easy living. I always admired you to never have to work as hard as I do to maintain ways.
It's not hard work because I leave a lot of the work to other people. I just take the pictures and let them develop them.
Right. See, there you go. You have all the fun. You get to see all the naked ladies and just snap the shots, and someone else goes off and develops them for you.
Yeah, well, I never did get into that naked lady stuff.
Well, I don't mean naked ladies, but I mean provocatively posed, barely dressed women. I've seen your photos. I know what you do.
Yeah.
Don't act like you're some kind of angel here.
I photograph daycare and private schools, children. Most of them.
Oh, you do school photographs?
Yeah.
What happens when you have to photograph a kid that you know is really ugly?
Well, I say, kid, smile. And then when he smiles, I'll snap his picture.
You gotta move the camera around and take it from a different angle to try to make these ugly pigs look better. You know, the fat chicks and like the ugly guys were like crooked noses and broken teeth and crossed eyes.
There's very few. No. We don't have that kind. Of
course they do. There's ugly kids everywhere.
No, they're beautiful.
Well, of course, we're old, so we think all children are beautiful, but you know, some are more beautiful than others, shall we say.
Are unbeautifuler than others.
Exactly. See, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but some of them know that they're not beautiful, and they don't want to smile.
What? They know that their teeth are messed up or something?
I didn't understand that.
I mean, they know that their teeth are messed up. They don't want to show their teeth. They don't want to smile.
Well, something like that. Sometimes they don't have but one eye or something like that.
But you have to make them feel pretty.
Yeah. Say, smile, kid.
You're right.
Most of them smile okay. But once in a while, if it don't smile, it doesn't matter because I take the picture anyway.
Now, when this conversation started, you were talking all kinds of nasty stuff about, like, reporting me to the police for just trying to call and reminisce.
She has a way of getting the number down of the phone.
Well, hopefully she has my number down and knows that I'm legit and I wasn't trying to mess with her, and I apologize.
Oh,
we got off on the wrong foot.
Well,
I'm sorry about that.
She just always does that. She does.
She always does that.
Oh yeah, usually does when I get a call, a late night call.
I'm sorry, I'm calling you from the East Coast. Here it's not that late.
I didn't know that. I'd probably
I'm calling you from Connecticut. I didn't realize how late it was there. I'm sorry about that.
Connecticut? That's over in North Texas, isn't it? Well,
did you say North Texas?
Yeah.
No, Connecticut is the birthplace of democracy, for crying out loud.
My goodness.
All the way on the East Coast. 3 hours ago.
Yeah, that other Connecticut.
The real Connecticut. Is there a Connecticut, Texas?
Probably is. I thought you were talking about that town over in East Texas.
Here in Connecticut, we have all kinds of weird things too, like New London.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah,
I guess that's what you're talking about.
Some of our folders that we order from Connecticut. Well, and one thing about the East Coast, they manufacture almost anything you can think of on the East Coast, and you could buy almost anything from the East Coast. See, that's where the original United States started.
Right,
that's
of course. You know, the Pilgrims landed on Plymouth Rock in Plymouth, Virginia.
Yeah, but you know, most of the brains are in the East Coast, and that's
what they say.
That's the truth, because most of the real brains.
All the best schools are in the Northeast, right?
Really
Yale, Harvard.
Maine. Yeah, see, Harvard. Yeah, but not much going on in Maine and New Hampshire.
No, that's mostly lesbians up north.
Yeah, that's a little bit too far east.
Yeah, right.
That's too close to Canada.
The closer you get to Canada, the more lesbian you get, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how that works. For some reason, all the lesbians live in New Hampshire.
But down in that part, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, and New Jersey, and Connecticut, all that, that's the heavy brain part of this United States. That's true.
Well, you're absolutely right. Every time they do a survey, they find out the best schools in the entire country, they're all in the Northeast. People around here tend to be smarter, more well-educated, and they tend to vote Democratic. I always found that most intriguing, that the more intelligent people are, the more they're inclined to vote Democrat. I always wondered why that was.
I don't know, but I've been Democrat, Republican, Independent, everything else. I was born when there was only one president for almost 16 years.
No, you're going to have to refresh my memory. Who are you going back to? You're going back to Hoover?
No, I went back to I
Truman?
was born in 31. So,
oh, dear Lord. I
had him for almost 16 years.
You lived here in the Northeast?
I've lived in Michigan. I moved to Texas from Michigan about pretty good while back.
Texas is nothing but a den of fat-ass morons.
I was born in Louisiana.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They moved. Louisiana. I'm sorry too.
Here in Connecticut, you know what we call Louisiana? We call it Luzerana.
Luzerana.
Well, in Connecticut, that's what we call it, because, you know, a lot of people in Connecticut they're rich and they're stuck up, and they look at the Midwest and they're like, oh, these people are so inbred and ill-educated that they always vote Republican. They're not rich, they're broke-ass poor, but they still vote for a party that wants to steal all their money and give it all to the rich.
Well, that's probably partially true, greatly true.
Right. You know, in the upcoming election, who will you be voting for? Will you be voting for Mitt or Obama?
Oh, I don't vote anymore.
You don't vote?
No, not anymore. I quit voting several years ago. I have to go down there and do that, and I don't like to move that much.
Neither do I. But I always have my people bring me down to the polling place.
I couldn't vote for Obama again. I wouldn't vote for Obama again, so I couldn't do that at all.
Why not?
So if I'd vote, I'd vote. I'm not even registered to vote this year. But I wouldn't vote for Obama.
Well, you are registered to vote. So long as you haven't missed a presidential election, you're still registered to vote.
Yeah,
you don't need to re-register every time. Only if you miss a presidential election, you have to re-register.
Well, see, the problem with Obama is he's cost the country too much money.
You know what I say? The problem with Obama is that he inherited the destruction of the entire country brought upon by Bush Jr.
One of those too, then.
You know, these things don't happen overnight. And the fallout from Bush happens for years. It doesn't go away overnight. It didn't happen overnight, and it doesn't go away. You know, Bush didn't destroy the country overnight. Clinton, God bless Bill Clinton. I wish I could vote for him again.
Yeah, if he was running, I'd vote for Clinton.
God bless that man. You know, the history books will record Bill Clinton as the greatest president of the 21st century.
Very likely. Because he was the smartest, I guarantee you that.
Absolutely. You know,
That's what I've seen.
I was reading on the line how they once did a study of the IQs of recent presidents of the past 30 years, and they found that President Clinton ranked the highest. And do you know who ranked the lowest? It's
probably Nixon.
No. Nixon was right there in the middle.
Yeah.
And
who was it?
Bush Senior ranked slightly below the middle. The lowest IQ president that we've supposedly had of the past 30 or 40 years was George Bush Jr.
Oh, Jr., yeah.
You're right.
No, his daddy lives very close to me over here.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, the old elder Bush.
You know, he caused a recession. He didn't do so bad. His son caused a depression, which is far worse.
I see them.
George Bush Jr. nearly destroyed this country, and we still haven't recovered from it.
Well, it may never.
Well, of course we will. We've got to think positive.
Well, George Bush Sr., he and his wife go to the baseball game a lot, and I see them down there.
What we have to do is we have to stop voting in these Republicans who think it's a good idea to give tax breaks to the very, very rich.
Well, that's great.
Because that's Reaganomics. Maybe it worked back in the 70s, but it doesn't work now.
Oh, you don't vote Republican, though, do you? You vote Democrat.
I'm a registered independent. So I vote for whoever I think has the best values.
That's a funny thing, because I voted for Clinton and I voted for Kennedy, but then I also voted for Nixon.
Well, nothing wrong there.
At the time,
Nixon really didn't do anything wrong. He just got caught. He did all the same kind of dirty stuff that they all do. He just got caught and tried to cover it up.
As far as that goes, I have some politicians in the family, and I have a very good.
You have some politicians in the family.
And not in my near family, but in the nephew. They're not high politicians. They think they are, but they're not really high politicians.
So they're full of themselves.
Well, you could say that very well, because that's what they just about are. But they're good guys, but they just want to be something else. And I like guys, but
listen. I'm old, and it's past my bedtime, so I need to go. But before I go, I'd like to apologize to your wife.
Oh, she's okay.
Is there any way you can put her on the line so that I can apologize?
Well, she's not in the room now. She's back in her sewing room, and she's okay. But
I don't know. I'm starting this conversation. She was being all confrontational, and she was saying how she was going to call the police on me and all this kind of nonsense.
We get 2 or 3 calls like this a day, and usually they're after midnight, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, because I'm going to be up.
Well, like I said, I'm sorry to call so late, but I'm calling from the East Coast.
Yeah, well,
so
you're
I
later than I
didn't realize the time difference, because I'm.
No, you're later than I am.
I admit I'm getting on in years.
It's only 11:30 here. It's 12:30 at the East Coast.
Right, but as you get older, you need less and less sleep, because your body needs less time to recuperate, because you don't get so much exercise no more.
That's true. Don't get much exercise at all. Just walking.
Right, exactly.
Well, let me let you go, and then you go get you something to eat. She's got me a bowl of stuff here. She sat down about 10 minutes ago.
Okay, well, you go enjoy your dinner.
Okay, but this won't be dinner. It's just a dessert, 11:30 dessert.
One last question.
I'll be up. Okay.
In the upcoming election, who are you voting for, Romney or Obama?
It has to be Romney.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Oh, well, yeah, because it's because of what.
Let me tell you a story.
What Obama's done.
Back in the 1980s, Mitt Romney took a cross-country trip. He was moving the family thousands of miles, and they packed all of their belongings into the trunk of their station wagon or SUV or whatever they were driving, and they were bringing the dog with them. And instead of putting the luggage on the roof where it belongs, they put the poor dog on the roof, and they drove on the highway with the dog in a cage. The dog is so terrified that it shit itself all over the car, all over itself, all over the cage. That should tell you something about how Romney thinks of other living sentient human beings. Well, not human beings, but other sentient living creatures.
I don't think that's so bad.
He doesn't give a crap about other, pardon the pun, he doesn't give a crap about human or creatures besides himself. He's a money-grubbing whore.
Well, the way I look at it.
And on top of that, do you realize that you pay more tax than he does? He's a billionaire. You're not. But he pays somehow less taxes than you do. You pay, probably like I do, you pay probably around 31, 32% tax, right?
Probably just about that.
He pays 10%.
Well, that also makes him pretty smart.
No, it makes him a cheat. That makes him a scumbag that rips off the government and tries to avoid paying his fair share.
Well, the reason I can't vote for Obama is
because he's black.
Heard that name. No. That has nothing.
Because his name. Because Obama sounds like Osama.
No. That's to do with it either. But the bands, I have a way after I hear the smell. After I found out a few things about him, I knew what he was. He is not a person who wants his country to survive. He wants to ruin the name of this country.
Who?
Obama.
Romney.
He will not have this country. He won't be elected again. There's no way, because the people know now what he is. He wants to ruin this country.
Why would he want to ruin this country that he lives in?
Because he is not a true American.
Are you one of those people that believes he wasn't a natural-born American citizen?
No, it has nothing to do with it. The man wants this country ruined.
Why? What's in it for him if this country is ruined?
Well, look what he's done.
Look what he's done. He's trying to repair the damage caused by George W. Bush.
Yeah.
But that kind of damage can't be healed that fast.
You know,
it can't be done in 4 years.
I hear that so often, the same identical words, that Bush was the cause of it.
Well, do you disagree?
No, I don't agree at all.
Let me give you a timeline. During the Clinton era, we went from an amazing deficit to an amazing surplus.
Right.
Then Bush takes over, and we destroy the surplus, and we're back into an amazing deficit. So how is Obama to blame for that?
Well, what he did.
We have a Republican-controlled Congress that won't allow him to raise taxes on the very, very, very wealthy. They won't allow him to let the Bush tax cuts expire.
Well, all I know is just vote for Obama and be happy.
Oh, I will. I'll definitely vote for Obama, and I encourage everyone else too. Because it's sort of like the lesser of two evils. Who do you want running the shop?
Well, that's one way to look at it.
The oblivious guy who means well and sometimes does wrong, or the evil guy who just wants to make money off of you and steal your cash and taxes?
Well, I don't feel that way about either one of them. But I feel like this, that Obama's plan was a plan from the start to make this country
I bet you listen to a lot of Sean Hannity.
I don't listen to nobody.
I bet you watch a lot of Fox News. Fox News.
Fox News? Not very likely. Not very likely. I hardly listen to it.
Okay, well, I'm going to let you go because I got to pee real bad.
Okay. See you later. Call me back sometime.
Okay, I will. Can I call you next week?
Sure.
Okay. I enjoy talking to you. You're a very intelligent guy, and I enjoy having an intelligent conversation with you without your wife butting in and threatening to call the police
she does
on me.
that. She does that to try to get him off the phone.
Well, slap her around and get her in line.
Oh, yeah, I'll get her in. See you later, buddy.
Have a good night, bro.
You done good as within Texas.
God bless.
Oh, you live north of Memphis, so you did well. Instead of done good.
God bless you.
You too, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Somebody.
And that was a very strange, long call, but that's one of the things that I like about the show, is it can become like a political debate within the context of a prank call. You can pretty much work anything into the context of a prank call. You can talk about sociology or politics or religion or whatever you want to talk about. You can work it into the context of a prank call. And that's what I just did there. Sorry if you guys didn't like me having a political discussion with a prank callee, but I enjoyed that. And so now, I already have shot number 5 is poured. I've only had 5 shots in an hour and a half. I'm never going to get drunk at this rate. I got to drink faster. I got to drink more and drink faster. And I haven't even yet gotten to Lonesome Losers numbers, but I'll go to those next. After this shot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, drink! I love it when the show has an opportunity to elevate itself. Aside from just me asking, like, does your pussy smell well? And doing, like, dumb prank calls, to be able to actually have, like, a political debate like that. I'm sorry if you didn't, but I really enjoyed that call. And I liked how it started off with such animosity with the woman, like, threatening to call the police on me. Oh, we've recorded your voice, we're tracing you now. And of course I know they can't trace me. Let me tell you why they can't trace me. Because I'm calling using the internet, and my cable company is one of the only few out there that has so far refused to share customer client information with the MPAA or anybody else that's like trying to research and like catch people using the internet for nefarious purposes like I do. So maybe someday I will get caught, in which case I can produce that audio and say, here you go. I didn't say anything untoward. Maybe the only thing I said untoward was that he ought to rap his wife in the mouth and tell her to shut up. But then we had a political debate for like 20-25 minutes. And it's stupid to even bother pursuing a prank call, because all they ever have to do is hang up the phone. Because I have a rule, if people hang up on me twice or 3 times, I don't call back, because that's, according to the law here in Connecticut, for it to be harassment, I have to call more than 3 times within a 24-hour period, which I don't do. So it wouldn't qualify as harassment. And if they don't want to have the conversation, all they got to do is hang up. If they tell me not to call back, I won't.
Hell ain't hang this fucking phone up because this is an idiot.
Okay, let me move to Lonesome Losers numbers. I haven't even broached those yet. So let me start from the top. We have Mildred Hebb, who is an old woman living in Allentown. Living there in Allentown. She's an ugly old hag getting down. Right, exactly. Oh, maybe she's already gone to bed. This call was confirmed almost 3 hours ago. Okay, so maybe she's going to bed. Let's close that out. The next person on my list is Mildred, Harold, Becky, and Edward, living in Spartanburg, South Carolina. They grow them stupid down there. South Carolina, that's a red state, isn't it? North Carolina is a blue state. South Carolina is a red state. Like, all the smart people move north. And all the dumb shits live south.
Hello?
Hello, is this Millie?
Is this who?
Becky?
Yes?
How are you doing, love?
I'm doing good.
I'm sorry to call you so late, but you know I wouldn't call if it weren't important. I was hoping to talk to Millie.
I'm sorry, I think you got the wrong number.
Mildred, she's not there?
Oh, she's sleeping right now.
Can you not wake her?
I don't know who it is, but apparently it's someone looking. Hello?
Hello, Millie?
You got the wrong number.
No, Mildred.
Mildred?
Is she there or not? Mildred Comer.
Yeah, who is this?
My name is Max Velocity. Listen, Millie. They already hung up on me. I'm not going to call them back because they sounded like a little gun shy. Nunu is saying, for UK calls, please recruit people to the Paralympics team due to existing members failing drug tests. Okay, if you can find me numbers for paraplegics, I'll be more than willing to do that. I have a t-shirt that says Special Olympics and it has the Special Olympics logo on it. And every time I wear it, I'm always afraid, like, either people are going to think I'm making fun of the Special Olympics, or that I am a Special Olympian. I'd be the world's best Special Olympian because I have a brain and a good body. Let me call up Francine and Eldon. They're living in Jamaica, New York. Shit, and it's almost 1 already. It's already almost time for me to do UK wake-up calls. Get your UK numbers coming in fast. We've got 15 minutes and then we're going to the UK.
Hi, this is Fran. I'm not available right now. Please call.
Thank you for calling. Goodbye.
Oh, it hung up on me right away. Francine and Earl are living in Texas. They grow them really dumb in Texas. If you were to ask me, what do you think is the dumbest state in America? I would say either like Arkansas, Montana, or Texas. Probably Texas. The kingdom of dumb.
Hello.
Hello, Francine.
Yes,
How are you doing, dear?
I'm doing fine.
Listen, I'm calling you from CNN. You ever watch CNN?
Yes, I do.
I'm calling from Anderson Cooper.
Yes.
And I wanted to get a response from you Recently, on Fox News, they made a statement where they referred to the state of Texas as the kingdom of dumb.
Well, that's pretty wild.
Do you know a lot of dumb people?
No, I don't.
Are you dumb yourself?
No, I am not.
What about Earl? Is he dumb?
No.
Do you vote Republican?
Yes, I do.
So that's quite dumb. Are you rich?
No.
So why would you be voting Republican? Why would you be voting for higher taxes for yourself so that the very wealthy could have tax breaks?
Well, I don't think that that's the way it works.
Some people say that it's because they think or they hope that someday they'll be wealthy.
Well,
And they may never ever get there, but in the meantime, they pay a far more greater share of taxes than the very wealthy, which it doesn't really seem fair, does it?
no. But think about it, I think we do have to pay taxes. Because
Well, of course, we're Americans.
finance.
We have to pay for
Yeah.
the firefighters and the police and the roads and everything like that. But why do you pay 33% in tax while the very wealthy pay only 10%? Shouldn't they pay more? Because the system is working far better for them than it is for you. Shouldn't they carry a greater burden?
Well, I think that the taxes are something that every one of us need to pay.
Well, of course, absolutely. Nobody's arguing that point.
Who am I talking to?
I'm a producer with Anderson Cooper 360 on CNN.
Okay.
And I was just calling random people in Texas. After we heard of what CNN said, they actually referred to the state of Texas as the kingdom of dumb. Because Texas, apparently the median income of people who live in Texas is about $30,000. And they pay roughly 33% in taxes. But yet the very wealthy that live in Texas are paying only 9 or 10% in taxes. Through loopholes and all kinds of minutiae they find, using lawyers and accountants, avoiding paying taxes that they owe the state and they owe the union. So, and Mitt Romney is a perfect example of that. Hiding his money in offshore accounts so that he only winds up paying 8% in tax while you carry the burden paying 33%.
I do not have time. What time is it?
It's very early.
No, it's not really early.
It was very, very early. Over in Texas? I'm calling you from the East Coast here. I'm calling her again. Oh, that means you got a drink. I said I'm calling again. That means drink! I'm not going to. I'm already up to like shot 5. And I gotta drink faster, otherwise I'm never gonna get drunk before the end of the program. And now she won't pick up.
Hello.
Francine?
What?
I'm sorry, we got disconnected.
No, I'm hanging up now.
You don't want to have your opinion heard on CNN?
No, I don't think so.
What about Fox News? Well, they would never play your opinion because they don't care.
So,
they're the opinion of the elite wealthy.
Good night. You have a good evening.
You too. God bless. Okay, so let's leave her alone and call the next person on the list. An old woman living in North Carolina. North Carolina, probably one of the most destitute states in America. Right up there with Arkansas and Alabama. Never ceases to boggle my mind how these poor people Always vote for tax breaks for the rich.
You have reached 704-867-6434. Please leave a message. Hello?
Hello, Geraldine.
No, this is Marion. Who's this?
Is Geraldine there, please?
She's asleep.
This is Anderson Cooper calling from CNN.
Well, good.
She apparently sent us an email with some kind of sob story, and we're trying to follow up.
What's the sob story?
She didn't say whether she wanted to share it with anyone else or not, so I would have to speak to her and get her permission first.
Who is this?
Anderson Cooper?
You don't sound like Anderson Cooper, and this is the middle of the night, for heaven's sake.
People always sound different over the phone.
Yeah, you have a British accent all of a sudden.
I'm just being silly.
I know you are.
So, is Jordan around? See, now you recognize my voice. This is the real Anderson Cooper.
She's asleep. This is the wrong time of night. Why don't you call tomorrow, okay?
We're trying to prepare a story to go on in the morning.
That's good. What is this?
She sent us an email that she wanted to voice her opinion, and we want to allow her the opportunity to voice her opinion.
Is this for real?
I know.
This is the middle of the night.
I know. I know it's very early, but you know we go on at 7 in the morning, so we have to prepare this stuff ahead of time. You know what I mean? I've been up all night myself.
Well,
who is this?
It's her sister.
Okay, what would be your name?
Marion.
Okay, Marion. My name is Anderson. Nice to talk to you. I'm sorry to call you so early, but we're trying to prepare a story. Geraldine has sent us an email that she wanted to express her opinion, and we would love about the upcoming election.
Oh, I don't think she wants to give her opinion in the middle of the night. You could have called a lot earlier. I'm sure she emailed you a lot earlier than this, and I don't believe you anyhow, so why don't we just forget this? Because I can't see that you'd want any one of our opinions on CNN or anything.
Of course not. Well, what is your opinion? If we can't get a hold of Geraldine, your opinion is just as valid. You're also living in North Carolina.
Yeah, well, I'm going to vote for Obama, and I'll tell you, it's a little too late to give an opinion right now, and you really don't want my opinion of this call because I want to remain a lady. So, we'll see you later.
Can I ask you why you're going to be voting for Obama?
It's the middle of the night, man. What's the matter with you?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you really are. I just want to go back to sleep. Goodbye.
Maybe it's too late to call any of these old people. So hopefully next week when we start at 10 p.m., we won't run into this so much. Angry people. An hour makes a huge difference to people. Because people see me calling at like 5 in the morning, or like 5:45, they're like, it's 6 in the morning. You can call at like 5:15 and like, it's going on 6 in the morning. Yeah, in 45 minutes it will be. My mom always used to pull that shit. Go to bed, it's going on 9 o'clock at night. It's 7:45. It's going on 9! Well, eventually, yeah, it will be. What's the shot count? I think we're...
Hi, this is Steve in Buriana Residence. Please leave a message after the tone.
Okay, let me hang up on that because it was voicemail. I don't know how to hack. Let's try Harriet, Earl, and Larry, living in Colorado. What is life like in Colorado? Isn't that where they filmed The Shining? Colorado?
Hello.
Hello, Earl? Larry?
No, this is why.
Oh, Harriet.
Yeah,
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
I'm sorry to call you so early, but I'm responding to an email that was sent by an Earl Nee to CNN.com.
Who are you?
This is Anderson Cooper. Have you heard of me?
I don't know. Just a moment.
Okay. Vagina survey. Yeah, this isn't Zolar's show. Hello? Earl? Nunu's going nutty because he wants me to call the UK. Next. Calm down.
Hello?
Hello, is this Earl?
No, what is this call regarding?
This is a response to an email sent to CNN.com by an Earl Nee. He wanted to voice his opinion about the upcoming election.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry to call so early, but this is the only time that we have to call people and record their input so that we can play it later today.
No.
Wait, what? Okay, never mind. Okay, let's skip all the other U.S. numbers. Lonesome Loser, if you're listening, I left off with Harriet Earl and Larry Nee, and all the other numbers I'm going to have to skip. By all means, save them for next week, and I'll see what I can do. In the meantime, I have to skip ahead to the British people, and have any of you come up with a proper premise for the UK wake-up calls tonight? It's 1 o'clock, so it's time for UK wake-up calls. Send your names, ideas, numbers, and most importantly, concepts for UK wake-up calls, because I don't know what's going on in the UK. So Nunu is the one who always fills me in what's going on in the UK and what I can use that's relevant to make a prank call. So by all means, enter the chat room and private message me with what you would like me to do with people in the UK. Right now, you have about 3 or 4 minutes while I play a song here from the Ramones, again, tonight's featured artist. This song is called My Brain is Hanging Upside Down. Bonzo goes to beat Bergen, goes out for a cup of tea. Just telling that little tidbit of information reminds me of a funny story, several funny stories from my childhood that I'd like to relate to you now, while I stall and wait for people to send me good working UK numbers. I will get to that, of course, before I get out of here. 11, 12, 1, 2. I still got nearly an hour to go. I don't know why I feel compelled to deliver 3 hours. 2 hours should be enough. But I feel that if you guys waited up so late and stayed up to listen, you deserve more than just 2 hours. So I go for 3. Anybody else out there in the prank call world really do that. So let me regale you with a story, and I don't care if you don't like it, because after all, you don't pay anything to listen. So you can tune out, you can go listen, you can go to, here are some things that you can listen to that I listen to when I'm not on the air. You can go to shoutcast.com and look up Art Bell, and listen to the best of Art Bell. Or you can find places that restream Howard Stern 101, and listen to that right now. Even though I think like Pharrell is on or something, so that's not nearly even worth listening to. When I was a kid, my parents had several years where they were very, very successful. And my mom would come to me and she would say, "You kids have been good all year. You didn't get arrested. You didn't cause us a whole lot of problems. So whatever you want for Christmas, you choose what you want, and we'll buy it for you. Because we understand that, obviously, you're old enough that you don't believe in Santa Claus. You obviously understand that it's your parents buying you gifts as a sort of reward for being a good kid for a year." So my parents would do the same thing. They would go to my sister and they would say, "What do you want for Christmas?" And they would do the same thing to me. And there was this one year where my sister asked me for... Actually, I could go year by year and explain the whole situation, but let's just say I was like maybe like... let's start out when I was like 12 years old. And my sister is 3 years older than me, so she had her driver's license. And my parents went and asked her, like, "What do you want for Christmas?" And she said an alarm system for my car. And that cost them about $12,000, because back then the alarm systems and the installation were very expensive. Nowadays it's like, nowadays it would cost you like $200. Pardon me while I reach over and turn off the fan. I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay to do without the fan now. So my parents went to my sister and they asked her, like, "What do you want for Christmas?" And she says, "An alarm system for my car." And at the time, she had a Chevy Beretta. She was so proud of. She wanted an alarm system for the car. And of course, my parents, like, tried to time it so that they could deliver it on Christmas Day. But of course, they couldn't properly time it because Christmas Day, people who install alarm systems, they don't work. And the day before and the day after, they also don't work. So my sister's car went into the shop and she got her alarm system that cost about $1,200 to my parents back then. And I asked my parents, I said, I want a kick-ass stereo system. And so my parents spent like $1,200 on my stereo system and $1,200 on her alarm system. Same amount of money. But come Christmas Eve, I'm sitting there like using my stereo and I'm blasting music and my mom and dad are like dancing around with me and we're like listening to music in the stereo. And my sister immediately runs to her closet and she starts crying. That's what she always used to do. I don't know why she always used to do that, but she used to run to her walk-in closet and cry like the cunt that she is, because she felt that I had a better gift, or that my parents had spent more money on me than they did her. Even though they spent the exact same amount of money, they spent $1,200 on her alarm system, and they spent $1,200 on my kick-ass stereo system. But because my sister was such an idiot and chose like a poor gift for Christmas, she would be sitting there like crying in her closet on Christmas Eve because everybody's sitting there enjoying my stereo while she has nothing to show for it because she asked for an alarm system for her car. And her alarm system was perfect, worked perfectly fine, cost the same as my stereo system, but she would just hide in her closet and cry, and she would constantly claim, "Oh, you love him more than you do me, you love him more than you do me, because you bought him a better gift." And my mom would say, "We asked you what you wanted. You could have chosen anything. This is what you chose. Don't get pissy with us because you chose a poor gift." And the year before that, Let me go back like even a year before that, where my parents had asked my sister, what do you want for Christmas? And she asked for like curling irons and makeup and clothes. And I asked for a computer. I asked for a Commodore 64. That's dating myself. That was back in like 1985. I wanted a computer. My sister wanted like clothes and makeup and like dumb shit that's like useless. So on Christmas Eve, I'd be sitting there playing games on my computer, and she would again run to her closet and like cry because she chose a shitty gift. Why did she want, Tabachi asked, why did she want a car alarm system? That's a good question. I don't know. Because she owned a Chevy Beretta, which they don't even make anymore, and I think they only made for like 1 year. Chevy Beretta, I think they only made that like for 1 year. It was such a failed car that it was a dumb gift. It was a stupid idea. But she would always get pissy because I would choose things that were actually practical and useful. And she would like choose things that cost the same, but were like dumb and stupid. So on Christmas Eve, like me and my parents would be sitting there using the computer and playing video games, and she would get all pissy and like run to her closet and hide and cry, and she would always say, oh, you love him more because you bought me a horrible gift, and all I have is a car alarm system. And my mom would say to her, we allowed you to choose what you want for Christmas. You made a dumb choice, so don't take it out on us and don't take it out on him. Nobody did anything wrong. If anything, you did something wrong. You chose a stupid gift. I gotta go pee. I'm gonna continue the story after I get out of here. I gotta go pee first. I'll be back very shortly, very shortly. Drink!
And I know I just can't trust myself. I'm a gypsy prince, covered with diamonds and jewels. Oh, then I want to live. Well, I want to live my life. I want to live. Well, I want to live my life.
And Nunu says, I wish KDK would tell these stories to old UK people. Nunu, do you remember about 3 or 4 weeks ago where I did exactly what you're saying, and all you did is attack me and say that this is stupid and why are you doing this? And then I reminded you of how you always tell me that rather than tell a story with nobody on the line, I should call up random people and tell them the story. And they're like, oh yes, brilliant, brilliant. You don't know what you want. Are you not entertained? If you're not entertained, it doesn't cost you anything to listen. If you don't like, leave. Go to bed.
I want to live. I want to live my life. I want to live. I want to live my life.
So at this point, it had become like a yearly thing. Like, my sister would choose, like, dumb gifts that she couldn't enjoy on Christmas Eve. Because that's the way my parents were. Like, my parents, when I was really young, we would just open all our gifts on Christmas Eve. And as I got older, my parents would allow me to choose, like, one gift that I could unwrap on Christmas Eve, and the rest would have to wait for Christmas Day. Maybe that's an Italian thing. I don't know. Because my mom was, like, completely, totally Italian. That's why she was such a good cook, because Italian food is the best in the world. And so the following year, after I got my stereo, my parents asked me, like, what do you want for Christmas? And by this time, I think I was like 15 or 16 years old. And I said, I want the entire collected works of H.P. Lovecraft. And my mom was like, really? I'm not going to buy you any kind of sex books. And I'm like, no, Lovecraft is the guy's name. It's not sex books. Lovecraft is like the equivalent of like Edgar Allan Poe, like maybe 50 years later, maybe 100. Who knows? Lovecraft wrote stuff in the early 1900s, the late 1800s. And so my mom was like, oh, okay, cool. My mom was always like really supportive and loved the fact that I loved to read so much, even though she didn't really like the fact that I was always fixated on reading horror. But as it turns out, my mom always was a lifelong horror film and book fan, because when I looked through my mom's bookshelf, her books were like packed away in the attic. When I looked through them, I couldn't help but notice that she had the entire works of Edgar Allan Poe and Algernon Blackwood, and she was a huge horror fan herself. I was surprised that she had never heard of Lovecraft before. But she went to the bookstore, and she went to the person and said, okay, I want to buy books from H.P. Lovecraft. And, like, the person is like, oh, there's nothing on the shelf, but you can put them on back order. So my mom back ordered, like, every single book from H.P. Lovecraft that was available from Del Rey Press. Del Rey was the company that was releasing Lovecraft at that point in time. And that was probably the best Christmas gift I ever got, the one I enjoyed the most. Because my mom, again, came to me that year and said, okay, it's Christmas Eve, you can open one gift. And I said, I want to open that one. And it turned out to be like a big bundle of paperback books of H.P. Lovecraft. And I was like, oh, awesome. And one of the books had like a list it had the timeline of when Lovecraft wrote all the stories, like when they were published, and like their estimated timeline of when they were written. So I went through all the books. Every story was included there, except for some reason, the stories that made up Herbert West Reanimator. For some reason, those weren't included. Like maybe they were owned by Empire Pictures because they had made the Reanimator movie. I don't know, but I went through and I read each and every Lovecraft story in the order that it was written, which was an amazing experience because I got to experience like him discovering the whole Cthulhu mythos and writing about the Necronomicon, which obviously doesn't exist. The Necronomicon appears in like dozens and dozens of movies, from everything from The Evil Dead to dozens of other movies that I can't even think of it off the top of my head. But you know, in The Evil Dead, they refer to it as Necronomicon Ex Mortis. Necronomicon, the literal translation means concerning the dead. And then when you add Ex Mortis to it, it means concerning the dead about the dead. So it doesn't really make sense. Necronomicon Ex Mortis, concerning the dead about the dead. That's the name of the book that gets read in the original Evil Dead. And even then, my sister was such a cunty asshole. She would always ask for like blouses and pants and like things that were like meaningless and no fun to play with. And she would see me enjoying and reading my books and being jealous because she made, again, like every year she made like dumb, stupid decisions. Like my parents were very generous. They would flat out come to each of us and say, what do you want for Christmas? You've been a good kid this year, so what do you want for Christmas? And my sister would always choose like stupid things and then get pissy at me because I chose better things than she did. That's why I don't talk to my sister to this day. I decided to stop talking to my sister maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. Hang on while I take shot number 6. Now I'm starting to feel a buzz. I stopped talking to my sister about maybe 2 or 3 years ago because my sister was like really pissy and angry because when my dad died, in the will I was left the executor, and my sister felt that because she was the older child that it should be her job to be executor, but the bottom line is my parents didn't trust her, so they left me in charge. Because they knew my sister would fuck me over. But I wouldn't fuck her over, and I didn't fuck her over. She made a lot of money. A hell of a lot of money. As much money as I made, she made the exact same damn thing, because we split everything. If she was smart with her money, she don't need to work no more for the rest of her life. Like I don't. If she's smart about it. As long as she doesn't go nutty crazy getting into drugs or gambling or anything like that, and buying like ridiculous houses and boats and shit like that, she's fine for the rest of her life. Nothing to worry about for the rest of her life. Same way I am. But she was personally insulted over the fact that my parents would choose their youngest child to execute their will. And she took me to court, and she tried to claim that I was insane because I showed up at the first time I showed up at court, I had a blue mohawk. And she tried to say that that was a clear-cut sign that I was incompetent. And the judge basically looked at her and told her she was crazy. And she thought the judge was her friend because she would talk to him all the time. Apparently, like behind the scenes, she would call him and talk to him, and she thought that he was her friend and that he was on her side. And we would go into his office, and he would always side with me. And eventually I talked to my lawyers, and I kept getting these notices that I need to appear in court, I need to appear in court. And I asked my lawyers, I'm like, do I really need to appear? And my lawyers was like, no, we're here to represent you. You don't need to appear at all. And I'm like, okay. And I stopped appearing. Because I think in a roundabout way, my lawyers are maybe trying to tell me that my appearance might work against me. Because at the time, I had like a blue mohawk. And I'm 35 years old, but I look like I'm 25, like maybe like a kid trying to recapture his youth. I don't know. So I decided I would stop showing up. And at the final proceedings, when everything was like all settled and done, I was supposed to show up in court, and I asked my lawyer, do I need to show up? And she says no. And I said, okay, well, I'm not going to. And then, according to my lawyer, my sister stood up in court and said, how competent is he? He can't even be bothered to be here for these final proceedings. And my lawyer stood up and said, we are hired representation, and his presence here is completely not needed because we're carrying out his will. So, my sister tried again and again and again and again and again. I don't know why she bothered so bad to try to wrestle the estate, control of the estate away from me. But she never was able to. And according to the judge and my lawyer, at the last proceedings, my sister showed up drunk. And she accused me of having sex with the realtor that I sold the house through. Even though she had, in previous proceedings, she had flat out called me a faggot, she was now accusing me of having sex with a female realtor, and that we were colluding against her, and the judge basically thought she was insane. And I left a note with my lawyer, like, if anybody asks, just say that Mr. Karen no longer chooses to have any contact with his sister whatsoever. And I haven't spoken to my sister since, and I hope that I never will again. I haven't spoken to her in 2 years. She did once leave me a voicemail trying to invite me over for Christmas, and I'm like, bullshit, I'm not going over there, and I'm not buying shit for your scumbag little daughters, stuck-up little cunty daughters. I know that they're my nieces, but because they're raised by my sister, they're like little assholes. Stuck-up little mafia assholes. That's another thing. I don't want to get too deeply into it, but go to Google and type in the D'Amico crime family. That's all I have to say. Another reason why I don't want to get involved in that side of the family.
Someone told me long ago, it's a calm before the storm. I know it's been coming for some time. When it's over, so they say it will rain Sunday. I know it's shining down like water. I wanna know, have you ever seen?
Toby is asking me if my parents were rich. No, my parents were not rich. But my dad was planning for retirement for he and my mother. So he had a retirement plan, and he had stock options, and he had bought land in upstate New York, and he owned a house in New Fairfield, Connecticut, and he had life insurance, and once you add all that stuff together, You're talking about, at the end of the day, it was about $4 million. Split between my sister and myself, a little less than $2 million. $2 million is not enough for me to, ever not have to work again. Unless I die, by the age of 60. So that's why I'm back at work now. Everybody out there listening, when you retire, you got to think about how much money it's going to take for you to live when you're no longer taking an income. If you have $1 million to retire on, let's say that you live only on $50,000 a year, that's only 20 years. Suppose you live past 85, then you're fucked. By the time you retire, you're going to need about at least $2 million. So get working. Have you ever seen the rain? I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain coming down the street? I'm gonna give the old Roseburn face-off prank.
Hello?
Hello, is Michael there?
Who is it?
My name is Max Velocity.
And who are you?
I'm a friend of Michael's from work.
No, I think you've got the wrong number.
And does Michael not work?
What's it got? No, I've never heard of you. Do you know what the time is?
How would you have heard of me? I'm friends of Michael's. I'm calling again. Drink?
Hello.
Hello, Michael.
Yes?
I'm sorry, moments ago we got rudely interrupted.
How do you know my name?
This is Max.
Who are you?
I'm sorry, I know it's very early. I wouldn't call so very early if it wasn't so very
Who
important.
are you? Who are you?
Listen, don't get pissy with me. It's
Who are
Max.
you?
It's Max Velocity.
Who's Max Velocity?
I work with you.
No, you don't.
Of course I do.
No, you don't.
Otherwise, how would I know
What do
who
you
you
want?
are?
What do you want? What do you want?
Listen, I don't know here nor there, but they just told me, call up Michael and tell him to come into work today, because...
Michael whom?
Michael Higgins. I don't know you. Michael?
Yeah?
I don't know you. I'm sorry to wake you up so early. I'm just doing what I was told to do.
Who told you?
My superiors.
Who's your superior?
His name is Donald.
Whom?
Why am I hearing a weird echo now?
I don't know, why?
Well, it's not on my end. It must be on yours.
Look, I don't work. My name is Michael, and you've got the wrong
work?
number. I don't work, no.
Of course you do.
No, I don't.
You don't work?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't have to work.
Oh, neither do I. Welcome to the world of the rich and lovely.
Right, I'm going now. Bye.
Michael, don't hang up. He doesn't work. Things are wonderful in the UK. You can just not work and... Worship Joey Ramone. Yes, I worship. I remember when Joey Ramone died, I was talking to my boyfriend, and I was telling him that Joey Ramone died, and I began to cry. And he, started making fun of me. He's like, oh, what kind of pusher are you? You're crying over the death of somebody you never met before. And I'm like, yeah, but it's Joey. Joey's dead. Don't you know what that means? That's like the death of punk. He's on the dole. Probably. The American equivalent of the dole would be welfare. Let's call up Michael Smith. He's living in Harlow. Hello, is Michael there?
Who's calling?
My name is Max Velocity.
Where did you get this number?
From Michael.
No, I'm sorry, I think you've got the wrong number.
How would you know if you haven't asked Michael?
Because Michael is dead.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that.
And why would you be phoning at this time on a Sunday morning?
I'm sorry, I'm just calling, referring to information that was sent to me. I had no idea that Michael was gone.
Okay, but
can
you
I
still
ask
wouldn't
what
phone
happened?
at half... No, you still wouldn't phone at 6:30 on a Sunday morning, would you? That
Of
just
course I
doesn't-
would. Why not?
Because it's early.
Right, wakey, eggs and bacon.
Right, thank you for your call. Bye-bye.
Time to get up.
Bye.
No, don't say bye. Let's figure this out. So many dead British people. You know what it is? My boss calls England, like, instead of the old country, he calls it the mold country. Like, all these people are, like, breathing in mold for so many years that they die young. They die early because they're breathing in mold. Because England is a musty, moldy, dusty, dirty place. And it partially is. We're trying to call David.
Welcome to BT Callminder.
Okay, that's not going to work, so let's move on to the next person. We have David Court. Let's try him next. See, things will be much easier once we start at 10 again next week. Because Brits, between 5 and 6, they get pissier. And not in a good way.
Hello?
Hello, is David there?
Pardon?
Is David there?
Who's calling?
My name is Max Velocity.
Who are you? Who are you?
No need for that kind of language.
No, I said, who are you? It's time, it's 6:45 in the morning.
I'm sorry, I thought I heard the H double hockey sticks word in there.
Sorry, who did you work for?
I'm looking for David.
David who? I'm sorry to ask this question.
David Court.
Yeah, I lost my husband 5 years ago.
He's dead?
He died 5 years ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, dear.
Yeah, what is your name?
My name is Max Velocity.
Oh, I do remember you, Maxwell. I'm surprised you worked at Gonson's.
I was a friend of David's for many years. And we've been out of touch for so long, I'm sorry, I didn't understand, I didn't know that he was gone.
Yeah, he was only 62.
May I ask, what happened?
He had cancer.
Of what?
He had lung cancer, and then he had a brain tumour. He had brain tumour as well.
Oh dear, from all the smoking.
He did give it up 2 years beforehand.
Way too late.
But it was too late, yeah.
Oh.
And we moved as well. We moved out of London. We went near Bishop Stortford. And, that's one of those things. I'm sorry if I was a bit sharp with you, but I didn't,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to call so early, but...
It's okay.
I was thinking of him, and I wanted to call him. We haven't spoken in so long. I had no idea that he was gone already.
I'm surprised that nobody didn't tell you.
Well, we hadn't spoken for many years. We were friends when we worked together years ago, but I'm so sorry. I offer my condolences. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to wake you, and I'm sorry about David.
Okay, thank you. Alright, bye-bye for now.
Good night, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, that makes me feel like shit. What are you doing to me, Lonesome Loser? You're sending me like all dead people. Oh, I don't care. These are the times where I can exhibit the fact that I actually do have a heart, and I'm not going to be like heartless and like pick on somebody about like a dead spouse. There's certain things that just shut me down like that.
Hello?
Hello, how are you doing, love?
You got the wrong number.
No, I'm looking for David Hall.
Yeah.
Is he there, please?
Who is it?
My name is Max Velocity, from right here in Stortford.
From where?
Stortford.
Why do you want David Hall at 6:45 in the morning?
Is there something wrong with him?
No, there's nothing wrong with him.
Was he up late drinking last night? There's nothing to be ashamed of. No worries. I'm not going to pass judgment.
Oh, he's asleep at the moment, so...
He's sleeping right now.
Yes, it's 7:15 on a Sunday morning.
Right. It's nearly 7. Time to wake up. What's wrong with him? He was up so late.
I have absolutely no idea who you are.
Of course you don't, because we've never met. I'm calling back. I'm calling again. Drink. KDK is drunk. Do I really sound drunk?
Hello, your call cannot be taken at the moment, so please leave your message after the tone.
Oh. Let me hang up on that. Let me close that. We heart drunk KDK. Do you really think I sound drunk? You think it takes me only 6 drinks to be drunk? You're giving me way too much credit. I'm such a huge alcoholic, it'll take me like 12 drinks to be drunk. Okay, maybe I am a little drunk. Okay. She's so unnerved that she's making things up to deter me. Okay, well, with that, I'm going to wrap up the program. If I didn't get to your numbers tonight, by all means, save them for next week, and we'll get to them next time. Barring death, I'll be here next week doing the same damn dumb stupid thing that I've been doing for the past 10 years. Sound mad drunk. I don't know. I thought I sounded just like barely tipsy. You say I sound drunk? Okay, then maybe I do. I'll go back and I'll listen to the program, and maybe I do sound drunk. I've been keeping count, and the shot that I'm about to do now is only number 7. I poured myself a shot. Now I gotta pour myself some Diet Coke. That's the sound of me pouring some Diet Coke, which will be my chaser while I do shot number 7. I don't know how you can say I'm drunk. Over 3.5 hours, when did I start? 11, 12, 1, 2.5 hours, I've done 6 shots. This will be number 7. Okay, maybe I'm losing touch a little bit. Maybe I'm at the beginning of, like, being drunk. Well, I hope you guys follow along with me, and hopefully you're a little tipsy yourself. Your recommended viewing for tonight is a movie called Grabbers. Go to your favorite torrent site and download the movie Grabbers, because it's a lot of fun to watch. Even though the accents are really hard to follow, because it's an Irish film, and everybody has like a really thick Irish accent. Everyone just wants to listen to KDK. Good! Maybe I'll stay on for a little while after I go off the air. Because I'm awesome. Am I? Am I really? Okay, I'm gonna do this is shot number 6 now. Shot number 6 in 2.5 hours. That's like barely drunk. Thank you for calling me like a drunkard, but personally, I don't think 6 shots in 2.5 hours is enough to get me drunk. Otherwise, I'm a fucking lightweight. But here I go. I'm gonna do. Tabachi says, "Tipsy, we're on the floors." I'm gonna do shot number 6 now. Everybody, if you're drinking, pour yourself a shot. We don't drink mixed drinks over here. We don't drink beers. We drink real men drinks. We drink shots. We use shot glasses and we drink vodka like real Russians. If you're like me, you drink a good vodka like Effin or Grey Goose. If you're low class, then you drink like Popov or Majorska or what's the other one? Popov, Majorska, and I forget the other one. There's like a really low class vodka that you use for cooking, and that's really all it's good for, is like cooking. Majorska, Popov, and Dubra. That's it. Dubra. Dubra is what everybody uses for like cooking. Dubra. D-U-B-R-A. Like the world's lowest, scummiest class vodka. The only thing it's good for is like cooking. You would never want to drink it, but for cooking, it's very flammable. Ooh. After the program, I'm going to be playing Diablo 3. So if there's anybody who owns Diablo 3 and wants to play, you can add me as a friend. I am KDK on Diablo. Maybe we can play together and go kill some shit. In the meantime, stay just the way you are. Pardon me while I light myself a cigarette here. I never did finish my story, did I? That one year where I asked my mom to buy me like the collected works of H.P. Lovecraft. At first she said she didn't want to buy me the books because when I said Lovecraft, she thought they were like sex books, like the Kama Sutra or something. And again, my sister had asked for like dumb, stupid things like makeup and clothing, like things that she couldn't actually enjoy on Christmas Eve. And my mom actually came to my bedroom. It was obvious to me that my parents had spent like twice as much on my sister that they had on me. But I didn't care because I'm not that kind of whiny bitch like my sister. I'm not going to go hide in my closet and cry and say, "Ooh, my parents don't love me as much because they spent so much less money on me." My mom actually came to my bedroom after my sister went to sleep and gave me a check. Or she offered to give me a check for cash. And she said, "We realize that we spent a lot more money on your sister than we did on you, so we want to give you a check." And I'm like, "No, you don't need to do that. I told you what I wanted for Christmas, and you gave it to me, and that's all I asked for." I don't feel that it's a competition. I don't gauge, like, how much money you spent on my sister and how much money you spent on me. I don't care about things like that. I told you what I wanted for Christmas, and it was a very low-cost item. And I don't care about that because, to me, that's a very meaningful item. Because at that time in my life, it was because I was a writer at that time, and I used to write a lot of like short stories and poetry, and that was very meaningful to my growth and development as a writer and poet. Maybe someday on the air here, I'll read some of my short stories and poetry that I used to write when I was like 16, 17 years old. Maybe I will. I'm sure if I read it now, it would seem like really stupid and juvenile, because I was, back then, like really stupid and juvenile. And at the end of the day, that's maybe why my parents left me in charge of their estate. Maybe that's why they passed over my sister and decided that I was the one that would be able to make the difficult decisions. Most difficult decisions I ever made in my life. Because I was the person who had to make... Because my parents left me in charge of their estate and their welfare, I was the one who had to decide what to do with my father. I read the will, and it's very clearly stated out there, like, if he's ever left alive through artificial means, pull the plug. But that's easier said than done, and it took me about 2 days. And I would come home and I would read and reread and reread and reread the will. And eventually I had to go back into the hospital, and my dad was in a coma, and I said, "We need to pull all life support." And they said to me, "Do you realize that you're consigning your father to death? Because without these machines, he's going to die." And I said, "Yes, but these are his wishes." By far the most difficult decision I ever had to make in my life. I don't think I'll ever have to make a more difficult decision again in my life. Because basically the decision I was making is like life or death. And I used to come home and like religiously like pore over the will and read it and reread it and reread it and try to find like some kind of excuse to get out of what I knew the proper answer was. But eventually I had to walk into the hospital and say, pull all life support. Because by that time, my dad was being fed with a feeding tube, and he was in a coma. And I read his will, and it said, it clearly states, if I'm ever left in a state of not being able to care for myself, or in a vegetative state, then you need to pull the plug. And that decision was left up to me because I was the executor of the estate, and I had to walk into the hospital and say, pull the plug, knowing that I'm basically condemning my father to death. I used to get weepy about it, but now I know I did the right thing because I abided by his wishes. Anyway, sorry to leave the show on such a bummer note, but thank you all for listening. Tune in again next week. We'll be starting at 10 p.m. instead of 11. Next week we will be starting at 10 p.m. So we're going to be starting an hour earlier. So if you miss it, fuck it. The show now starts at 10 p.m. instead of 11, starting next week, and I'm a little tipsy to continue. I only did 6 shots, but I'm on an empty stomach, so I realize that I sound like completely tanked. So thank you all for listening. Tune in again next week. By all means, there was nearly a vomit. I love you all, even if you hate me. Stay just the way you are. Just the way we like you. Stay beautiful. And get the word out. Whether you're here or not, I'm going to be here at 10 p.m. tomorrow. Or, not tomorrow, next week. 10 p.m. next week. So I don't want you to miss the first hour of the program. So tune in 10 p.m. next week. That is the new, we're going back to the original beginning start time. And I hope you meet me there.
Around my whole life long. And when I'm gone, don't you bury my bones. Keep me around. Knit a sweater from my hair. String a necklace of teeth. Or just lean me there on the back porch where I can feel the breeze. Keep me around my whole life long. And when I'm gone, don't you bury my bones. Keep me around. It's not that I'm jealous, I just make a lovely stand for umbrellas. And you can toss your keys into the caps of my knees when you come back from town. Keep me around my whole life long. And when I'm gone, don't you bury my bones. And when I'm keep me around. Pickle my fingers in liquor and leave them lying in a drawer. And you can toss your clothes from what's left out of my toes on the back of the door. Keep me around my whole life long. And when I'm gone, don't you bury my bones. And when I'm gone, don't you bury my bones. And when I'm gone, don't you bury my bones. Keep me around.
Makes me feel so old. When I was like a really little kid, like when I was like maybe like 6 or 7, I remember my parents like bought me a radio, and FM radio didn't really exist then. FM radio later came around, and they had more powerful signals, and they had better programming. But back when I was a little kid, the only place where you would hear like music was on transistor AM radio. I'm really dating myself. I was born in 1971, so I'm talking like 1975, 76. I'm so old, I remember when VCRs were top loading for bicord's sake. Okay, I'm gonna bail after the song, I'm gonna bail for the night. Thank you guys for staying up late and listening to music with me. Thank you. Lovely, wonderful, beautiful Negro. This last song I want to dedicate to my ex-boyfriend. Because there eventually comes and, I don't know, there comes like a sad time in your relationship, but I realize that so much has gone before and so much bad stuff has happened that there is no cleaning things up, there is no getting back together, that is no longer a possibility. And to me that happened like when I realized like my previous boyfriend like came to me and told me like flat out he's now infected with herpes. Up until that point, I sort of held out hope, like, maybe we could get back together again, maybe we'd be able to see eye to eye, maybe we would get back together again, and maybe, I don't know, maybe we would work things out, even though we've been apart for like 4 or 5 years, because sometimes that's what it takes. That's what happened with my sister and her husband. Like, they were separated for like 3 or 4 years. They realized that they were happier with each other than they were without. And they got back together, but... And who knows? Maybe that's what my ex-boyfriend was looking for, but... It was a really uncomfortable situation, because I was coming back from break. I was working at a restaurant. I was coming home to just like have a half-hour break. And as I was walking up to the door, I see him walking away, and I considered like turning around and walking away and hoping that he didn't see me. But he saw me. And I'm like, oh, okay, and I walk up and I'm trying to be like polite and everything, and I still have all of hidden anger and animosity. I know it's unjustified, because he didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. Nobody has any reason to harbor any kind of anger toward each other. And we got to talking, and I said to him, he thought it was a joke, but I meant it literally. I said, so are you still doing that hoeing? He thought I was quoting a prank call, but it was a real actual question. Because the last time I had spoken to him before that was when I had seen him posting an ad online prostituting himself. And I called him up and I was really upset. And I said, if things are this desperate, just, if you need money, I'd rather you ask me for money. Even if you want to call it a loan, I'll give it to you. You don't even have to call it a loan. If you need it, I'll give it to you. You don't even have to pay me back. I'd rather give you the money than see you prostitute yourself. And he got all angry with me. He's like, no, I don't need your fucking money. I don't need you. You're out of my life. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And of course, like 6 months later, he comes back, he says, now I have herpes. I have the gift that keeps on giving. I have herpes. Herpes is an incurable disease. There is no cure for herpes. It's not going to kill you, and it's not the end of the world, but it's probably really uncomfortable and unpleasant, but it's not going to kill you. Anyway, I've said too much already. Let me say goodnight. Thank you for listening. I love you all. And tune in again next week at 10 p.m. I'm going to be starting at 10 instead of 11. And I'm hearing myself through the headphones, and I realize I'm tanked. I did like 6 or 7 shots, and I'm already fucking tanked. So thank you, anybody who hung in there and listened. Tune in again next week. I'll start at 10. Don't wait till 11, because then you miss an hour of the show. In the meantime, I love you all. Stay just the way you are. Just the way we like you. Stay beautiful. And sit your fat ass down. A song from the darkest hours, secrets I can't keep inside of the day.
swing from high to deep, extremes of sweet and sorrow. Hope that God exists, I fall, my friend. Swung down by the undertow, my life is out of control. I believe history could bear my weight, so let it go. Oh, sit down, oh, sit down, oh, sit down. Sit down next to me. Sit down, 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 down in sympathy. Good night, everybody. I love you all. If I never speak to you again, remember, I always loved you. I'm relieved to hear that you've been to some far out places. It's hard to carry on when you feel all alone. Now I've swung back down again. It's worse than it was before. If I hadn't seen such riches, I could live with being poor. Oh, stay down, stay down, stay down, sit down next to me. Sit down, 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 down in sympathy. Those who feel the breath of sadness, sit down next to me. Those who find they're touched by madness, sit down next to me. Those who find themselves ridiculous, sit down next to me. In love and fear and hate and hate, oops, and hate and tears, in love and fear and hate and tears, in love and fear and hate. Down, down. That's the basic difference between you and I, and me and Pranknet. You're evil. I'm not.
Well, that was the worst piece of crap I've ever seen.
Oh my God, that was an abomination. That was
Sit through that. My ass is actually sore. My ass is actually sore.